stay warm, safe, and comfortable. Call today to schedule your home heating check. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle. It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Get geared up for savings like you've never seen before during Elway Days. Their biggest sale of the year runs October 14th through the 18th when every red tagged machine is priced at invoice plus $300. That's it. No freight, no setup, no extra fees. Don't miss out on these epic savings. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at the 27th and I-80 location.
Imagine hitting rewind on your life 10, even 20 years. With testosterone therapy from Limitless Male, you can turn back the aging clock and get your edge, energy, and confidence back. If you've lost your drive, sleep deprived, muscle loss, belly fat, irritable, you're not the guy you once were. Get your T levels checked at Limitless Male. More and more men are realizing hormone replacement can turn back the clock. Schedule your free consult at limitlessmale.com.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
Serve Nebraska believes that volunteers are part of what makes Nebraska great. Each year, the Step Forward Awards honors volunteers from across the state who serve their communities in outstanding ways. We hope you'll join us this year at the Step Forward Awards luncheon on October 27th in Omaha. Help us thank volunteers with a celebration to remember. To register, visit serve.nebraska.gov and click Register Now. We hope to see you there. Paid for by Serve Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
You never think cancer will happen to you. I smoked for over 40 years. My doctor recommended that I get annual lung cancer screening. They were able to catch my cancer at stage 1. It's never too late to quit. Even if you're still smoking, you need to ask your doctor about annual lung cancer screening. Just 30 minutes a year could save your life.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Husker fans know when you work together, great things happen. At Cornhusker Bank, they're more than your financial partner. With 5 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Omaha, they're your neighbors, your teammates, and your biggest fans. Whether you're saving for your first home, planning your future, or growing your business, they're right here in Nebraska to help you move forward together. Visit cornhusker.bank to learn more. Cornhusker Bank, member FDIC. Doing life together.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in to Ticket Weeknights. Harrison Arns on the 1s and 2s. This is the Husker Football Hour with Tom Shatel of the Omaha World. Harrison on the Allo VIP line, where you guys are welcome to join in as well. 402-464-5685. Like I said, we got Tom Shatel in here. Tom, how's it going on pretty chilly all day here, October 27th in Lincoln, Nebraska?
Yeah, kind of rainy Omaha too. So it's that time of year, and love when the weather turns colder, the games get hotter.
Well, at least this year, and I can say this, it feels like it's been for a long time. At least it's a winning year where we're bowling already. And it's been a long time since we've been bowling at this point in the season. I think you got to actually go back to that 2016 year where we also won a bowl game. But you get a big one versus Northwestern, and obviously we'll dive big time into this game. And the thing that stuck out to me most was that Northwestern team. Felt like it was going to be close going into it. Whenever you think of Northwestern, it's always a close game. And also, that was a team that had some good win under their belts. How important was it just to get that win over Northwestern, regardless of whatever you think of that team's, confidences?
Yeah, there was a lot of pressure on the program and the team last week, and the coaches. A lot of, one of disappointed fans after Minnesota, and people thinking, okay, is that what we're going to get? We thought we were over all those kind of performances, and so they had to stand up and show what they were made of, and they Northwestern provided a very a very tough test, but it was the kind of test they needed, it has been a theme in a lot of their wins this year. They did just enough to win. It wasn't always pretty, but if you like stirring comebacks and special teams plays and just overall clutch plays, it was what everybody needed.
Yeah, and that was good Northwestern defense, and usually that is always pretty solid defense. But I was impressed by their ability to protect the quarterback a lot more in that game. That was a big one for the offensive line, and I'm sure you and Austin talked about it last week. 9 sacks is a collective failure as an offense. You can point directly at the offensive line, but if you're giving up 9, that's across the board. But you knew the conversation was going to be around that offensive line. How impressive was it for you, or to watch those guys? Not go out there and be perfect by any means, but the run game certainly had a good day, and also you weren't seeing Dylan Rail touch the ground.
Yeah, and some of that was Emmett Johnson. When they try to run the ball, they're able to run the ball because he's that good. And there were certainly some plays where there were good holes open, but there are also plays where Emmett had to make his own yards, and he's very good at that. He does a lot of. He's a combination of. He really is like Amir Abdullah and some backs we've seen over the years that they could juke you and make a move and go, or they could run right through you. And he does both. So it was just good to see the balance. I mean, this is a good offense when they run the ball. It opens up, takes the pressure off the pocket, and then it opens up some of the passing routes. So it's you wish they would have done that in Minnesota. They didn't do it. We don't know why, but they did, and that's over. And now we have a pretty good formula going forward. These next 4 are going to be the hardest games of the year. And no offense to Michigan, but USC clobbered Michigan. I mean, that doesn't bode well for Saturday night, but when you go on the road, it's always tougher to go on the road. UCLA's kind of got their mojo back, although Indiana can, beat that to anybody. And Penn State is weird, but that'll be their senior day, and they'll be motivated against Rule. And Iowa might be the best of the 4. So
I don't want to admit that, but you look at Iowa the way they keep going. This is a legit Iowa team. Their offense can put up points when they need to, which is not always been the case. They
play very well at home, don't they? I mean, they could beat Oregon. It would not be an upset. It would not. I think that, and that's in 2 weeks. Oregon will have to play a hell of a game, and Oregon goes everywhere. They're very tough, but that'll be a hell of a game. I just think the best thing about Saturday was getting the bowl thing over with, and it did need that to be a narrative going forward. And having a month to, what these 4 games are going to write the story of this season. What are we going to remember? What are we going to think about it? What are we going to think about this team in the season, in the third year? What are we going to think about Rule? What are recruits going to think about the program? So on and so forth. It's all laid out. The biggest 4 games of the year are right here. So at the end, and it's cool because I love November football. I love this kind of feel where you get to the end and everything's just a little bit bigger. So, they had to get to that thing out of the way Saturday. That would not have been a good loss at home, and then having to go up against these guys and trying to get the 6th win.
Yeah, you got to have that conversation, be done with already, and now we're in a position where we can start. You still got to win those games, of course, but you can talk about which bowl games are possible for this team to achieve. And, even if you don't make the playoffs anymore, because of the playoffs, a lot of those bigger bowl games are out there up for grabs. So it's a good opportunity, obviously, for Nebraska to just lock in what they have left and have that conversation be put to bed and not have to have the, last time Nebraska went bowling graphic pop up or, where last year felt like you wanted to continue off of that, where we are a bowling program. We're going to keep taking steps going forward as opposed to backward, especially with all the noise. Subconsciously, whether you say it affects you or not, I think the Penn State job being open, and obviously you have LSU opening up not too long ago as well. There's a lot of noise just in the coaching carousel in college football. So to have a win is huge for this program, and just to let those guys focus. And quickly, I won't ask you too much on it, but just thoughts on Brian Kelly leaving LSU and that job opening up. I know your focus is Husker football, but some people may have saw that one coming, others are a little shocked.
Yeah, it was a different kind of James Franklin thing. I think Franklin kind of wore people out at Penn State. Obviously, went to the playoffs last year and had done some good things. Had done a lot of good things for the program, but I think people would just then his personality probably wore some people out. Brian Kelly, kind of the same thing. There, not a very lovable guy, and frankly, had followed up. The last 3 LSU coaches had all won national titles, so it was kind of like, and he said it. He said he thought they had the kind of team that could do that or would compete for it. So it just from just the last straw. I was watching it, and I missed the first half. I went from Nebraska football to Creighton basketball, and I stopped at UNO hockey on the way home. But I caught the second half of that game, and LSU was up at half. And then they just got demolished in the second half. And when that stadium empties and the opposing fans take over your stadium, there's nothing worse for a coach, especially who's kind of on the bubble anyway. So when the fans leave, I mean,
everyone was seeing that place empty out. That time
didn't help either. I saw that in 2003 in Nebraska with Kansas State. I don't know if you remember that game.
I remember my brothers talking about how disappointed they were. I was 4.
Well, K-State, it was the first time they'd won in Lincoln since like 1968. So they came in there, and it was a good K-State team, but, Frank Solich was, again, they won 9 games that year, but that wasn't one of them. And K-State came in there. It was just the time of the a time in history when people weren't used to KU and K-State and Iowa State rising up and smacking Nebraska around. And K-State went in there and ran all over them and scored. And it was shocking. And then so the stadium empties. And then, as the game, the last 2 minutes of the game, the South Stadium's empty except for the big splash of purple. And the K-State band, you hear the Wabash Cannonball and K-State band singing in their stadium. It's just like, I'm not sure Solis ever recovered from that. And maybe I don't want to debate that whole thing, but I'm just saying that image is hard to come back from. So, but yeah, these days coaches get fired now, and Auburn looks to be next, probably. Florida State. I know Florida State is probably, they don't have a lot of money, at least the kind of money where you got to pay Mike Norvell. Yeah, he's going to be due about $60 million if they do it now. So I think Florida State's probably hoping he wins a few to try to maybe look better and keep him around for another year. But that could open up. I mean,
just to clarify that.
Yeah. I mean, it's and LSU's buyout was negotiated down. They actually paid Kelly, I saw today, around 20. So yeah, it was only 20. But these jobs are opening now, and it's a domino effect, and there aren't a lot of great candidates out there. It just makes you wonder, what's Penn State going to do? I mean, how do they get somebody better than Franklin? How do they? There's not a lot of candidates who have had coaching experience, at least not at that level. So,
is everyone looking for? Me and Foreman were talking about it. We had some texters chiming in. Is everybody just looking for a Cignetti now? You think we're going to start seeing a lot of these, less known guys at the lower levels, and some of these cheaper contracts, but take some shots at some of these guys?
They're hard to sell to your fan base because, I mean, if anybody had tried to hire Cignetti, if Trev Alberts had tried to hire Cignetti, he might have been fired too. I mean, the fans would have said, "You're not hiring a guy in his 60s from James Madison. That ain't happening." And so I don't think that's. But obviously these jobs are open. Somebody has to get hired. Everybody can't hire Lane Kiffin. So, and in fact, he may end up staying because they're going to go to the playoff, and they might go deep in the playoff, and he can't leave then. So, are Florida and LSU going to wait until mid-January to hire a coach? I mean, by then the transfer portal's closed. They are basically empty, and you wasted recruiting. So the timing may work out for Ole Miss. Who knows? But I just think the Penn State thing is a little still nerve-wracking for Nebraska fans because, again, who are they going to hire with all these jobs open now? And they can always fall back on Rule and go, well, but I wonder if these last 4 games matter for that. I wonder if Pat Kraft, the AD at Penn State, is thinking, I have to have, in order to get, he could probably hire Rule today and he would love it. But maybe to sell it to Penn State fans after Franklin, does he have to have a certain number of wins, or he had to beat USC, or he's going to play Penn State? How's that? How's that going to look? So, that's just a wrinkle. I don't know if it's anything going on there or not. Again, these last 4 games are a lot of intrigue.
Yeah, and I think it wouldn't matter. For Penn State's sake, again, I don't know what they're going to decide, but, Matt Rule still has that record of, when it comes to ranked opponents. I think it might be 5 or 6 wins. I know I'm actually referring to one-scored games, but for ranked opponents, I know he doesn't have a necessarily great record, and Nebraska's been struggling there forever. So if you're Penn State, and your problem is, well, we can't win the big ones.
Right.
That's kind of the rack on that rule right now. So I think you would, if you're in Penn State shoes, if you're a fan, and I know social media isn't always the best barometer, but I don't think the fans are super psyched up on it right now, unless maybe these games do matter a lot in the eyes of the draft.
But I'm saying, who else is there out? Who else is out there? They're not going to get Lane Kiffin. Jeff Brom ain't going to leave Louisville, I don't think. If he's not going to go to Penn State.
Are they trying to take Brett and see if they can get him out of Illinois?
Yeah, but is he better than Franklin? I don't know. There could be somebody out there, it's just, I don't know who it would be, but they may have to go with an offensive coordinator or somebody who's never been a head coach, or a group of 6 or group of 5, whatever the hell it is now, head coach, like Tulane or somewhere like that. Is that what they're going to do? I don't. Whatever they do, it feels like it's going to be underwhelming.
Right.
But he could sell Matt because of the blue and white factor, and he's been a head coach. He's played and he's coached in big games, but if they win Saturday night, well, the perception of Nebraska and Matt Rule changes immediately. So, the Husker fans want that to happen, but maybe they don't want it to happen too much.
Yeah, a little bit of a double-edged sword. Again, I don't know if there's anything Matt Rule has to say or should say or what fans want, but there's always going to be, I think, a little bit of doubt until this offseason passes, until we see where all the chips fall, because, obviously not just Penn State, but the coaching carousel has gotten insane. With the amount of teams out there, Florida, LSU, Oklahoma State, Arkansas, these are good places. Penn State, obviously, that, a lot of coaches would be lining up to go there knowing that they have some good resources. But obviously, the one Penn State is the most concerning. Only got a little bit of time here left before we got to throw it to break. We'll latch back on to Nebraska versus Northwestern. Before we do go to break, I'll ask you a little bit just on these special teams. You can make an argument that without special teams taking the strides they did this year, there's 2, maybe even 3 games Nebraska wouldn't have won. You have Williams taking, I think it was 98-yard touchdown to the house. Mike Eckler, great coach coming in here, but I've been blown away just about how big of a jump that unit on the field has made in this year alone.
Well, very rarely in the last several years of Nebraska football has somebody come in with promise and actually delivered. It has not happened often, and it has happened here. And there was great promise and great hype, and it's as good or better than we expected. He has not only impacted games, by God, he's helped win them. So, maybe the best part of Mike Eckler, besides watching him on the sidelines, trying to, knock somebody over or, take out the head coach or whatever he's doing. The celebrations are fun to watch, but maybe the best part about him is that he's reminding Nebraska how important special teams are, and how cool it is to have great special teams. And maybe now Nebraska will take special teams more seriously going forward. Hopefully, he's here a long time, but hopefully he starts a legacy or revives an old legacy. Starts a new chapter where Nebraska fans and administration has to have special teams. We have to have it. For so many years, didn't have to have it. Nobody cried. Nobody screamed about it. No, it just seemed like it wasn't going to happen. Now it's happening, and it's absolutely wonderful. So it's pretty damn handy to have too, because when you can come out of halftime and return the opening kick or the second half kickback, and all of a sudden the the end of the first half when there was when they kind of followed it around and blew opportunity. They walk in with no momentum. All of a sudden, you get the crowd back into it. The sidelines back. Here we go. So, obviously, it's he's creating. It's also fun because Mike is from Nebraska. He grew up in Blair. Husker fan. He's really elevating he's got a great name in college football. He's been to more places than I have, and he's really elevated his reputation and legacy, especially doing it here at home. So the whole thing's a great story.
Yeah, maybe that's the best way to put it. As what you said earlier at the beginning was, that's the first guy in a long time that delivered on all the expectation and promises. Because again, I always use my age as like a sort of barometer. But being here at 26, it's just about everybody who's came in here has struggled in a major way that was well short of what the expectations were. Doesn't mean all the expectations were fair that fans may have had, but you rarely have ever seen it actually pan out in the way you were hoping. And for him to do it, and again, not just meet the standard but exceed the standard, is incredible. Because just a few years back, I mean, we weren't even attempting it. We were just fair catching everything, hoping we wouldn't screw it up. The goal was to not screw it up, let alone let's go impact the game. So it's just been huge what Mike Eckler's been able to do. And then again, it's another page on the scouting report. The team's got to actually take the time and worry about Nebraska's special teams, because they will hurt you if you ignore it. And that's just more time in that paper sheet that they got to go through on Nebraska special teams. So with that being said, we do got to throw it to break, though. I still got Tom Shatel of the Omaha World Herald with me on the Aller VIP line. Hair Star's back in Lincoln. Don't go anywhere. We'll throw it to break. We'll talk to you guys on the other side.
Harvest is here and every gallon counts. That's why Sapp Brothers Petroleum launched the Go Big Red Fuel Giveaway. When you contract your fuel with Sapp Brothers, enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. As Husker Country knows, the only thing stronger than the roar at Memorial Stadium is the drive of a farmer putting food on the table. Fuel your farm with Sapp Brothers Petroleum and enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. Visit sappbros.net today. Sapp Brothers Petroleum, fueling the heartland. Go Big Red.
If the power is out, traffic lights might be too. If you come across a dark intersection, treat it like a four-way stop. See more tips at les.com/safety.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
This fall, Baumgars has everything you need to get your farm ready for the season. Stock up on livestock feed, deer corn, and pine shavings to keep your animals fed and your farm running smoothly. Need tools for your fall projects? Grab DeWalt power tools and grass seed to keep your fields in top shape before winter. From your barn to your backyard, Baumgars has you covered. Get ready for the season with everything you need to finish those fall fix-ups. Baumgars, field, farm, and fall fix-ups.
Are you looking to upgrade your equipment and keep cash in your pocket? Through October at Landmark Implement, get up to a 24-month waiver on select John Deere tractors and combines, or lock in a 2.9% fixed rate for 36 months, followed by a qualified standard rate for another 36 months. Whether you're thinking of this year's harvest or planning ahead, we've got a solution that works for your bottom line. Visit your local Landmark Implement for more details, or check us out at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Schaefer's is celebrating its 79th anniversary with special rebates,
financing,
savings, and free delivery store-wide.
Update your home with innovative Samsung appliances and save up to an additional $900 with rebates. Samsung Innovation saves you energy and time with easy-to-connect appliance technology. Plus, during Schaefer's anniversary, get free delivery on your appliance purchase.
So hurry in during Schaefer's 79th anniversary event, going on now.
This is your year, where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Nebraska farmers, harvest is here and every gallon counts. That's why Sapp Brothers Petroleum launched the Go Big Red Fuel Giveaway. When you contract your fuel with Sapp Brothers, enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. As Husker Country knows, the only thing stronger than the roar at Memorial Stadium is the drive of a farmer putting food on the table. Fuel your farm with Sapp Brothers Petroleum and enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. Visit sapbros.net today. Sapp Brothers Petroleum, fueling the heartland. Go Big Red.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in segment number 2. We still got Tom Shatel of the Omaha World Herald right here on the LOVIP line, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with the local heart. Let's break down a little bit more Northwestern versus Nebraska. Again, obviously Huskers win it 28-21 to go to 6-2 on the season, 3-2 in Big Ten play, and are officially bowl eligible. You know, in that game, the biggest questions I think for me were still obvious. The biggest ones on offense, I don't know what this team is in just terms of what are they trying to do between the pass and run game. Obviously got Evan Johnson a lot more involved in that one. And then on defense, this is a team that's going to be able to stop the run. And that's what impressed me was on defense. You know, there was that one big home run play where they bounced it outside, and you credit for Northwestern for making the play where, you know, he had to cut that thing all the way back. Outside of that one play, though, they did a pretty good job, I thought, stopping the run as well. And just looking at the games coming forward, I mean, that's going to be huge. This USC team's a little bit of a different case coming up here, with those games coming afterward. Certainly. It's USC, UCLA, but then you're going to get Penn State and Iowa. And if you can't stop the run versus those two teams, that's possibly 2 losses at the end of the year.
Yeah, I like what the defense has been this year, but I don't know how many challenges they've had, frankly. I think the first game, well, obviously Michigan was a challenge with the freshman quarterback, but I think Cincinnati might have been the best offense they faced besides Michigan. I don't think there's any question, probably. And I thought they did a good job, but they just couldn't handle that guy, and they weren't really ready for that. I think he did some things that they hadn't seen, and again, it's a young defense, so it's they don't get a lot of pressure, but again, they're young. I think they're just kind of patch things together. After that Cincinnati game, I think they had a couple meetings where they got chewed out of the coaches, or they needed to play harder. But just forget, if you're making a mistake or not, just run to the ball and play as hard as you can. And I think that they've done that. They've certainly had their deals. Now, the Minnesota game, you lose, you give up a big run, and John Butler kind of loses his place and doesn't know what he kind of backs off. But we saw what happened Saturday when you give up a big play, but keep going, keep playing, keep coaching, keep attacking. So these are, the Minnesota game was good for something. They learned some lessons. So but again, the bar will be raised. USC, we know what that is. UCLA's quarterback has found his guy, and Jerry Neuheisel, the son of the old Colorado coach Rick, is calling plays, and he has unlocked UCLA's offense. And they certainly beat Michigan State, who worse than Nebraska did, so they looked better. So they didn't look so good against Indiana, but again, like I said, I don't know who would. Penn State's offense, they have a new quarterback. I just don't know what they're going to be like going forward. But I assume that they'll play hard in that last home game against Nebraska. But I was, the quarterback they've got is a good runner. They're just making enough plays to win. They're certainly very physical. I mean, Iowa, we know what that game's going to be like. So, but Nebraska's defense just has to keep getting better, and you'd hope that a lot of the young guys, they always say there's no freshmen, there's no young guys at the end of the first season. They've certainly they've been through it. So, it's a good defense, not great yet, but they've had a lot of good moments. And they've been up against it too. When your quarterback gets sacked 9 times, that means that you're punting a lot, or if there's turnovers, which there were at Maryland. I mean, they've been up against it a little bit too. So, I in general, I like what they've been doing this year.
Yeah, and the what's called styles mix battles, and they're going to have another type of style coming up here with USC, and you hinted at it already. Maybe that's going to be a game where you think it matches up favorably with our secondary, or maybe you see it another way.
Well, yeah, I do. I think you're right. But if you don't get pressure on the quarterback, he's going to get you. So you have to, I don't care how well you're covering guys. If you have to cover them for a long time, they're going to be open. And so they've got to get pressure this week. That's the Nebraska's going to have to play their A game on every facet this week to have a chance to win this game. I think they can, and I think they probably need a little help from USC. Not being maybe motivated to play Nebraska a night game, but USC's used to night games. They're used to big crowds, not liking them, and they're coming up a loss at Notre Dame, so they've had a week off. They're probably going to bring their A game as well. So I think it should be a hell of a game. But yeah, Nebraska maybe has a good matchup, but only if they get pressure.
Yeah, that's one of those things that we haven't seen a whole lot consistently this year is getting pressure on the quarterback. And I'm kind of saying that at the beginning of the year, there's a lot of coverage sacks to be had, but obviously you have to get there to go get that sack. And, that night game, hopefully that crowd can fire those guys up and just make that quarterback hold on to the ball for a little bit longer with the pressure and the noise of everything going around. but I think the spread's sitting at about 6.5 in USC's favor. So it's a big challenge. And to your point, I mean, this is going to be a pissed off USC team coming off a loss to Notre Dame, which, felt like they had some chance to go ahead and win it, go through sit through an entire bye week, and now they get a big game versus Nebraska. And whoever wins that game, you got 23 ranked USC. If Nebraska wins it, you'd imagine Nebraska gets ranked. And if USC drops that one, who knows, USC probably falls out of the rankings. So there's a lot on the line here for both these teams. Haven't had perfect seasons, but this is a big game as we're getting down to a few left here to where it's going to decide where these teams end up being. And you never want to look too far ahead for, bowl games. But again, you only got this game and then 4 more after it. And this is going to be a big statement win for either program.
Yeah, Nebraska, it doesn't matter if they're ranked. If they win this game, it elevates their standing in the game. It elevates their name, their stature. It's like, okay, this was Nebraska can win these kind of games. They've never beaten USC, so it will be all kind of stuff going on if they can do this. I think they can. But these kind of games, your best players, your superstars, have to play well. They have to be evident. They have to take charge and play. Probably they have to play great a lot of times. That would mean Dylan Raiola and Emma Johnson have to be on top of their games. And when they're at the top of their games, they're pretty hard to stop. So I just think, especially if they can get off to a quick start, if they can get a lead somehow, the crowd will keep the crowd into it. I'm thinking, it's a different animal. But Colorado last year, Nebraska jumped on them, 2 quick scores, and then the crowd never let up. So they kind of need something like that to happen, I think, to really have a chance at this thing. And then again, if it goes into the fourth quarter close, these guys have been closers, so so that could play in their favor as well. And there'll be a light show. There'll be going into the fourth quarter. There'll be all kind of stuff going on. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the November 1st, the day after Halloween. You're going to have the blackout jerseys. You've had a few day games, so they've been itching, I'm sure, to show off the latest installment of the light show feature. And again, it's going to be a raucous environment as long as it's a good ball game heading into the fourth. The worst thing that can happen to Nebraska is this thing feels like it's out of hand heading into that fourth quarter. You got a night game, blackout. Matt Rhule's not going to get fired, but it'd look an awful lot like LSU did.
Yeah, no, I think people are going to hang in there, and I think the expectation is different. I don't think the expectation is that they're going to that they should win. This is a game that I think people understand the challenge, and Nebraska's not quite, the program's not quite built yet, but they're good enough to with an opportunity. I think they are good enough to get this win. I was almost said steal it. I don't think they have to steal it, but they're going to have to earn it. But I think this is close. They've got playmakers, and it'll be sometimes you get a break or a turnover or a little momentum boost, and things just happen in a game. They just on their own, and it's crazy. You never know, but last year that game was pretty close in LA. I know USC came out at the end, but I look for this to be Dana Holgorsen and John Butler will have something up their sleeve, but again, in these kind of games, it's not usually coaching; it's talent shows up. So, I think Nebraska's got their own talent. They're just the skill guys are going to have to take over. And the offensive line is going to have to hold the line. They're going to have to really, there can't be a lot of breakdowns. And if there are, Dylan's got to throw it out of bounds or get rid of it. There's going to be a game plan where he's got people ready to go if he needs to, get rid of it quick. If it turns into a sack fest, that will spell doom.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, that one's 6:30 this Saturday. That's the blackout game. So if we're going, we're black. We've seen it all over. I think they actually changed the N logo. It's black on their Husker Media website for all their sports. So they're trying to put it out there. Wear black for that one if you are going to it. Should be a big, fun game and a big moment possible for either side. We got thrown to break. We got one more segment on the other side. This is Husker Football Hour. I got Tom Shatel on the Yellow VIP line. Don't go anywhere. We'll talk to you guys in a little bit.
After a long, hot summer, are you ready for fall? What about your home? Is your heating system ready for cooler temperatures ahead? Call Bryant for your fall heating check. No matter what brand of equipment you own, Bryant's trained technicians will thoroughly clean and inspect your furnace or heat pump to make sure you stay warm, safe, and comfortable. Call today to schedule your home heating check. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle. It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Get geared up for savings like you've never seen before during Elway Days. Their biggest sale of the year runs October 14th through the 18th when every red tag machine is priced at invoice plus $300. That's it. No freight, no setup, no extra fees. Don't miss out on these epic savings. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location.
Imagine hitting rewind on your life 10, even 20 years. With testosterone therapy from Limitless Male, you can turn back the aging clock and get your edge, energy, and confidence back. If you've lost your drive, sleep deprived, muscle loss, belly fat, irritable, you're not the guy you once were. Get your T levels checked at Limitless Male. More and more men are realizing hormone replacement can turn back the clock. Schedule your free consult at limitlessmale.com.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People Seating Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
Serve Nebraska believes that volunteers are part of what makes Nebraska great. Each year, the Step Forward Awards honors volunteers from across the state who serve their communities in outstanding ways. We hope you'll join us this year at the Step Forward Awards luncheon on October 27th in Omaha. Help us thank volunteers with a celebration to remember. To register, visit serve.nebraska.gov and click Register Now. We hope to see you there. Paid for by Serve Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
You never think cancer will happen to you. I smoked for over 40 years. My doctor recommended that I get annual lung cancer screening. They were able to catch my cancer at stage 1. It's never too late to quit. Even if you're still smoking, you need to ask your doctor about annual lung cancer screening. Just 30 minutes a year could save your life.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Husker fans know when you work together, great things happen. At Cornhusker Bank, they're more than your financial partner. With 5 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Omaha, they're your neighbors, your teammates, and your biggest fans. Whether you're saving for your first home, planning your future, or growing your business, they're right here in Nebraska to help you move forward together. Visit cornhusker.bank to learn more. Cornhusker Bank, member FDIC. Doing life together.
Deciding on a college with your high school senior can be a little overwhelming for parents. But applying for money to pay for it is simple. FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, is now easier than ever with fewer questions and faster fill-out times. If you have a high school senior, now is the time to apply for thousands of dollars for classes, books, and housing. Get started, Nebraska, at dothefafsa.org. Sponsored by Education Quest Foundation. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment right here, Husker Football Hour with Tom Shatel. We're breaking down Nebraska versus USC after we recap Nebraska versus Northwestern and wrap things up. Tom Shatel, I just want to get your thoughts on those, in my mind, awesome blackout uniforms. I like the idea of it. It's black shirts. I think you're allowed to wear the black shirts if you are in Nebraska. And they've had the alternate uniform out there right away for everybody to see. So we all know what it looks like already. I'm a big fan of it. I like what they're doing to sell this game even more.
Yeah, I'm okay with once a year. And the only thing I would change is I think there should be black helmets. With the red end, I love that. And that's a cool helmet. So why not go all black? I'm a San Diego Chargers fan. The last 2 weeks we've had all yellow, which were terrible. Yes. It's like the Savannah Bananas. And then when they got
the exact same thing about those uniforms.
They got blown out by the Colts. But then they go back to all navies, which were the best, probably their best uniform. Great look, and they play well. So let's go all navies from now on. But I think all blacks would be the way. I would just change the helmet because that black helmet with the red end is awesome.
I agree. We have one at the Ticket Studio, even, and we had some people even make like their custom ones. I forget what they call it. They have the big Husker equipment garage sale. And you go through the alternates. When you keep it simple, you don't have to do anything crazy. But the black helmets would be sick. I don't mind keeping the white and just the black end, though. But to your point, once a year, and if they want to do it once a year, black shirt edition type uniform, I think it makes it easy. The fans got their black shirt gear every year. You're not Oregon, right? You don't have the Nike factory behind you where you can quickly print out a million designs and sell it to the people. But if you do the black shirt thing every year, which I think is kind of the theme they're going for, where once a year they bring out those black shirts, the fans will have the gear. If you have that blackout game, then they become a real tradition. If it's a yearly baked thing, where once a year they have that alternate, and it's usually in theme of the black shirt.
Well, it's everybody's different, and ironically, this is against USC. USC doesn't have an alternate uniform. They play the same thing every week for years. Penn State doesn't have one. Alabama doesn't have one. I don't think LSU's. I've never seen LSU with an alternate, or and so Ohio State I think has had a couple. Michigan maybe once or twice, but so I think it's once in a while. Hey, it's 2025. Recruits like it. You do what you got to do, but I just once a year.
That's where I'm with it. You don't got to change everything and break all the traditions. But to your point, 2025, the recruits like it. Whether you think it's lame or you think it's ruining tradition, the recruits all have a pretty similar opinion. You're not going to find a 5-star saying, boy, that blackout this weekend is kind of disrespectful to the Nebraska traditional uniforms. It's, not everyone, especially the Chris, don't think that way. I got the argument, don't get me wrong, but it's just a different era out there. With that being said, Tom Shatel, I got one final question for you. As you're kind of, I'm sure, sizing up this Nebraska versus USC game, what are some things that, the Husker fan base, the average fan, should know about this USC team coming to Lincoln?
Well, I haven't watched them a lot, but they were, the thing with Lincoln Riley has always been he had the quarterbacks and the offensive scheme, but the defense wasn't holding up, and I think the defense has been better. But this is going to be an offensive shootout, and Rule and Riley know each other well, and I love that matchup of sort of old warriors. I don't like it that Rule has never beaten them, but hey, it's going to happen sometime. Why not now?
Well said. And with that being said, we got to go ahead and get out of here. That is Tom Shatel of the Omaha World Herald. Appreciate it as always. You can hear him again every Monday, 6 to 7, capping up the Husker game, and then also Husker football, what's coming ahead. So if you're interested, go to the Omaha World Herald. Check out Tom Shatel. He's got great stuff that he puts out covering Huskers. So with that being said, though, we do got to get out of here. Appreciate you guys listening. Don't go anywhere. All in. You got Ridge Lovett, former Husker wrestler, national champ, and Caleb Smith. They're breaking all Huskers from volleyball, basketball. They get the soccer team in as well as their season wrapped up. But nonetheless, appreciate you guys listening. Don't go anywhere. We'll keep Ticket Weeknights rolling right here, 93.7 The Ticket.
After a long, hot summer, are you ready for fall? What about your home? Is your heating system ready for cooler temperatures ahead? Call Bryant for your